Hello everybody, welcome back. YouTube.com/Geek Aloud for another Let's Install. Today, Chivalry 2 King's Edition, native PlayStation 5 version, going on to, of course, a PlayStation 5. So it is the Winter War thumbnail full update. We will download, full game, excuse me. We will download the PS5 version. As I said, onto a PlayStation 5. Why, I hear you ask, Chivalry 2 King's Edition? Well, I got to tell you, it's part of the January sale currently in the PlayStation Store. So for $45.47 Australian, you can pick up the King's Edition, which is the sort of Chivalry 2 PS5 edition with the Winter War update, collectively known as the King's Edition, which is what we're installing today. And if you go back a ways on the channel, you'll see I was a massive, absolutely massive fan of Chivalry 2 when I got my hands on it on the Xbox Series X. The game is phenomenal. The way I equate it, the best way, I believe, to sum it up, if you will, is if you consider Chivalry 2 an arcade version of hand-to-hand combat, you know, if you want to compare it to races, Chivalry 2 is as Forza Horizon is an arcade racer compared to Forza proper, which would be For Honor. If you've ever played For Honor, also available as part of a PlayStation Plus monthly game forever ago. I don't know, long time ago, 2-3 years, maybe 2018 that game came out. So I think somewhere around that time they included For Honor, a Ubisoft game that's also hand-to-hand Mortal Kombat. Not Mortal Kombat in the fighting sense. Combat with swords where you cut each other's heads off. It's the sort of For Honor is incredibly difficult. It's very specific in the control scheme. It's not forgiving. You really have to master the control input in order to get good at For Honor, which is, you know, your Forza Motorsport equivalent. However, Chivalry 2 is much more like Forza Horizon. It's the fun arcade racing version of hacking and slashing people's heads off with swords. So if that sounds like fun to you, if you've ever watched Game of Thrones and thought, man, I just want a quick 15-minute, pick up the controller, one round, run in with 64 other people and lop the heads off 64 other people. It's 120-player online multiplayer, absolute mayhem. You know, big broadswords, pole arms. There's mounted combat coming into it. There's all kinds of insanity. There's a trophy or achievement for killing somebody by throwing them with a bit of bread, which I think only does 3 damages of health points. So, you know, you've got to get a few cuts in with the sword, then quickly grab a bit of bread and throw it at them to kill them to pop the achievement. If that sounds like your kind of fun, believe me, it had me entertained for hours. Chivalry 2, I can't sing its praises highly enough. And as I said, currently available with a discount. I think it's a 50% discount. As I said, I'm not sure on the percentage discount, but I can tell you the full shebang, the King's Edition, is currently in the Australian PlayStation Store as part of the January sale for 2023 for $54.47. So if you've got that money kicking around and you want to get your hands on some combat, you cannot go past Chivalry 2. This game is an absolute masterpiece. Go back, check out the Let's Plays. Go back, check out on GA. I'm blanking on the episode number, but there's a couple of episodes in a row where I bang on about how good Chivalry 2 is. You must check it out. Anyway, for now, let's install Chivalry 2 right here. YouTube.com. Speaking of Geek Aloud Gaming Enforcement Agency, it's happening tonight. There's one tonight. Gaming Enforcement Agency tonight, 8 p.m. Myself, Bully, Unky Dunky. We're back on the couch for the first time in 2023. It's going to be an absolute rip snorter of a show. It's a full bang show. I know a few people out there. I got the feedback. The Christmas special being short, no good. Message received, heard, noted. You'll never receive another short one. We're going to give you just full-on episodes moving forward, starting, of course, tonight, 8 p.m. I'd love to see you here. This is your official invitation. Jump into that live YouTube stream at 8 p.m. Bang along with us in the chat as we go. It'll be fantastic. But for now, let's install Chivalry 2 at 22.401 gigabytes right here. YouTube.com/Geek Aloud. All right, it's getting exciting now. Installed Chivalry 2 King's Edition. I'm going to say it's the King's Edition. It includes the Winter War update. How about that? Chivalry 2 plus the Winter War update. As I was saying earlier, this is it's an online multiplayer game. It's just hack and slash. It's just... I should know before I was saying it was multiplayer only, but there is a mode whereby it's 64 players versus 64 players, or you can do 32 versus 32. However, there is a mode, I forget the name of it, where there's only 4 real humans on each side, and then the other slots are all taken up by AI. So, 32 teams, 4 humans, and then there's 28 AI bots running around, and those modes are a bit easier if you sort of need the introduction where you're not just going to constantly get your teeth kicked in. Maybe you might want to play a few rounds there to get your hand or head, if you like, around the gameplay style, and then go into those where the real fun lies, is the true 64 v 64 play mode. But as this is a Let's Install, I'm not going to show you any gameplay. We are going to jump into the options menu, and we'll jump down and have a look what I would recommend we get into. First of all, enable auto sprint. I don't know of a situation in this game where you don't want to be sprinting either toward or away from the danger, so I have that turned on. Attack direction from movement input. Now that changes the fundamental way you go about controlling the game. I say if you know these types of games and that's how you like to do it, I would flick this on or leave it off from the start. Maybe only give yourself an hour, but once you start to develop that muscle memory, flicking that switch can really throw you. Enable crouch toggle options. Full gore, definitely turn on full gore. When you cut someone's head off, you want to see it fly through the air and little bits of blood splat out off the neck hole. It's disgusting and awesome at the same time. Enable loadout display on first death. Now, I like that disabled because I go in, I know what character class I want to be, and I play it from the start. However, if you're only starting out on the game, you might want to put that on just to remind yourself that there are 4 classes, so you can go through and try each one and then find the one that works for you. Maybe you want to be an archer, stay way back and just try and pick off headshots. Maybe you want to get right in there with the broadsword. You know what I'm saying. But play around with it. Once again, performance mode. Oh, that should not be on performance. Always, always, always frame rate. Performance, for me, always recommend frame rate. I love a 60 frames per second, excuse me. All right, cross-play matchmaking. Leave it enabled, you'll get quicker gameplay. Some people complain about the mouse and keyboard input being more precise. I say get over it. Leave cross-play matchmaking enabled. You'll play more games. You'll get better at it quicker. Don't worry about it. She'll be right, mate. Show ally indicator. It's pretty self-explanatory there. I like it to have it on everyone. I like to see everyone's name so I know. There is penalty for team killing. Mate, is there a server? Now I'm not sure if there's a server mode where you can disable friendly fire. Off the top of my head, though, I'm going to say there's no way to disable friendly fire. So if you're swinging the axe at 3 heads and 2 of them are your allies, you can lop off 3 heads and it's not good. That's why I always show all the enemy indicators so I'm not accidentally killing the wrong people. UI, enable combat numbers, multipliers, and show hints. I just like to see all the stuff coming up on screen, especially the show hints. Once you're used to the game, okay, maybe you want to turn those hints off, but there are so many nuances to this game, even though it's very arcadey. A lot of nuances. I'd leave the hints on. Gives you a full good crack at it. Now, camera style, for me, it's first person all the way. When the axe is coming swinging straight at the screen, I know it's coming at my head, but that's up to me. Maybe you prefer the third person movement. You want more situational awareness. You want to know when someone's coming up behind you. In that case, flick it out to third person. Personally, I like a good first person and head bob. I like the head bob. It's got a very natural feel. If you turn off head bob, it feels like you're playing, a first-person shooter from the 90s, and it's just this static view. I don't like it. However, it does give you more accuracy in combat. So if you want to combat the mouse keyboard players who arguably have an advantage against you with the controller, if you turn off the head bob, you can, maybe squeeze an extra 10% back into your accuracy. But I don't think it's worth it. I think the look and feel of the game is so much more important. I reckon leave it on. And accessibilities, we've just got no color correction and field there. Options, go over to video. Motion blur in this game, I think it looks better enabled specifically for the blood splatters. I leave it on. I think the blood splatters look cooler with motion blur enabled. That's just me. Usually I recommend turning it off. However, this game, I leave it on. Now, first person field of view slider. I'm disappointed in myself having not gone up and maxed this up. Yeah. Stop warning me about it. I want to go in, confirm, and confirm. I want to every time I iterate it up a notch, it's like, you don't want to do it. I'm telling you I do. I want the full 120. I feel like Bully's sitting right next to me. Stop doing it, Troy. Stop doing it. No, I'm doing it. 120 all the way, baby. All right. So get the first person field of view up to 120. It's a wild fisheye effect, but I love it. And then there's your gamma options there. Controls, all the standard fares. Now, I've never gone in and danced with those and changed them. I feel their default has nailed it, but obviously, if you prefer a larger dead zone, that sort of thing, go in, tweak them. They're all available for you. And audio, there's nothing really to worry about here. Audio, crank it all up, enjoy it. They are all the options for Chivalry 2. And in case you can't tell, I highly recommend you play a round or two. This game is really something special. So, with that said, let's bounce on out to the home screen, pull up the particulars, and wrap up this here Let's Install video. I can tell you, Chivalry 2 native PlayStation 5 version, currently version 1.0.24.000, and that is a full and complete install size of 22.44 gigabytes. Once again, though, note it includes the King's package. So, manage game content. If we jump in here, there you go. They're bundled in. Everybody has them, and it's an install key. So, regardless of whether you pay for the expansion to unlock it or not, your install is on version 1.024.000 will always be 22.44 gigabytes. Thank you very much for watching another Let's Install right here on Geek Aloud. I hope to see you back tonight for the Gaming Enforcement Agency, where we do deep dives on video games. We talk about the news of the week, and then, of course, everyone's favorite segment, the standoff. We put the best of gaming up against the other best of gaming, and we pick a winner. It's a nostalgia trip down video gaming memory lane. Everyone loves it. Come by, check one out. What else can you do with Geek Aloud? Like it, subscribe it. You'll never miss it. Oh, that was luck. Hey, that's something. I love everything about it. Ooh.
Fire splash!
Old Uncle Donkey. Gee, Donkey.